morning, everyone. It's an honor for me to be here representing Mayor Grebian, who unfortunately is out of town, but and could not be here. But I can speak with a high degree of certainty that I know he is very proud of the work that has gone into producing this event, and he's very proud that our young students at Goff have honored and shown their dedication to the American ideals that veterans represent. So to the students, on behalf of Mayor Grebian and the residents of the city of Pawtucket, I congratulate you. Thank you for a job well done. Thank you to the teachers, the administrators, all of the people who helped these students put this program together, because this event is a shining example of the very best of what Pawtucket has to offer. And I think that on behalf of the mayor, the residents, the city council, and all the electeds, we can all stand together here proud of all of the hard work that has gone into this event. Today, as the phrase, remember, honor, and teach indicates, we're here to remember the sacrifices, the service, and the work done by all of our veterans. And if it weren't for them, we wouldn't be here today enjoying the freedoms that we enjoy. The freedom of speech, the freedom to share our ideas, to share what we think without fear of persecution, without fear of something happening to us because we don't agree with the government. Those are very powerful freedoms, but along with freedoms comes responsibility. And especially to the youngsters, to the students, take those freedoms very seriously, because as you can see throughout the world, like in China, people don't have that freedom and their government oppresses them. So as youngsters, take this lesson from our veterans that our freedoms are precious and they're to be defended and exercised with responsibility. On behalf of Mayor Grebian, the residents of the city of Pawtucket, I congratulate all of you and thank you for this wonderful event and best wishes on a happy holiday season. Thank you.
Next, it is with great pleasure to welcome North Providence Mayor Charles Lombardi. I'd also like to take a moment to thank him on behalf of the Goff community for his continued support through this program. Let's give him a warm welcome to the stage.
Good morning, thank you very much. How about a round of applause for Mariah for great event. So it gives me great pleasure to be here this morning, especially it's the reason why we're here, and also to explain the difference one person could make in our lives. So we're here today because one 12-year-old boy, a paper boy from Maine, won a trip to Washington, D.C. He visited our nation's capital and Arlington National Cemetery. He decided to make a commitment to remind all of us the values of our nation and the heroes who made the ultimate sacrifice for all of us, for our country, and also so that they would never be forgotten. He wanted to make sure that he inspired all of us to honor our country's veterans. In his later years, this man named Morrill Worcester became the owner of Worcester Wreaths Company. And in 1992, with the help of some friends, made arrangements to have his surplus Wreaths, the Wreaths he didn't sell, placed at Arlington National Cemetery. In 2005, this became a national event. And in 2007, his idea became the Wreaths across America. That organization, which helped expand his efforts and support other groups around our country, such as today's event. And I read in 2014, over 700,000 Wreaths were laid in the United States, and today I think I heard it's up to 2.2 million. Think about that. One fella made a change and made us realize how important it is to recognize all of those veterans and honor those who sacrifice so much, protect those freedoms that we enjoy. We appreciate Wreaths Across America's year-long mission to remember our fallen U.S. veterans, to honor those who serve, and teach our children the values of freedom, and showing our veterans and their families that we will never ever forget, to ensure that their legacy and their sacrifices are never forgotten. So again, it is my honor to be part of today's event and this Veterans Parade, which I understand is one of the largest parades in America at this time. So Mariah, to you and all of your committee and efforts, I can tell you this, the town of North Providence thanks you. And I think it could speak for everyone in this auditorium and everyone in this city. Great job. Thank you. Just a couple of other things. I'd like to also congratulate my daughter, Assistant Superintendent Lisa Ramsey, for her honor, the honor placed on her today. It was a secret. I promised I wouldn't say anything, and I didn't. Thank you. And also a welcome here today. It's like a family event for me. My grandson, Nick Ramsey, right out of Annapolis, who's now become a aviator pilot. Nick, we love you. Thank you. And the last thing, a special thank you to today's principal speaker, Josh Chiarini. When I found out that Josh Chiarini was going to be the principal speaker today, it reminded me of the last conversation Josh and I had. It was in the summer down at Fort Adams, boots on the ground. And how special this gentleman really is. Josh is an Iraqi war hero, serving 3 tours. He received the Silver Star for his heroic actions, saving him and protecting the lives of many U.S. Marines after their convoys were attacked. But all this wasn't enough for Petty Officer Chiarini. His desire and commitment to help people did not end when he left Iraq. His heroic background has landed him a firefighter's position in the town of North Providence, where he will continue to have the opportunity to save lives. And our town, Firefighter Chiarini has also become the lead officer in training with our police department, always focused on helping and making sure others are protected and safe. Josh, on behalf of myself as the Mayor and Public Safety Director, Fire Chief John Silva, who's with us today, and many of your comrades, the entire North Providence Fire Department, and the community at large. We really appreciate you, Josh. Thank you for your service, and I guess so we can wish you that you enjoy good health, you and your family, the missus and the young lady that's with us today. And all I guess all we can wish for is that you enjoy safe stay with us at the North Providence Fire Department. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Mayor Lombardi. Next, I would like to introduce our Assistant Superintendent, Lisa Ramsey. She has been an outstanding supporter of this program that we jointly started 3 years ago. Lisa Ramsey?
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. I'm both honored and humbled to stand before you today to participate in a ceremony honoring our current and past servicemen and women. I would like to thank all our distinguished guests for being here today with us. My name is Lisa Benedetti Ramsey, and I am the interim assistant superintendent for the Pawtucket School Department. While that's my title this year, last year I had the distinct privilege to be part of this event and stand on this very stage as the very proud principal of Goff Middle School. Even though I have a new job this year, a project like this is what it's all about. It blends all of us together in a common mission. Seeing the commitment of the Goff Middle School community, its students, its staff, and its leadership have made in creating this tradition and fulfilling the mission of Wreaths across America, which are to remember, honor, and teach. It is truly awe-inspiring. You are creating and recognizing tradition, and tradition matters. In the words of Frank Soderbergh in his book, Follow Your Conscience, Make a Difference in Your Life and in the Lives of Others, tradition represents a critical piece of our culture. They help form the structure and the foundation of our families and society. They remind us that we are part of history that defines our past, shapes who we are today, and who we will likely become tomorrow. Tradition contributes a sense of comfort and belonging. It brings families together and enables people to reconnect with friends. Tradition reinforces values such as freedom, faith, integrity, good education, personal responsibility, and the value of being selfless. Tradition provides a forum to showcase role models and celebrate the things that really matter in life. Tradition offers us a chance to say thank you for the contribution that someone has made. Tradition enables us to showcase the principles of our founding fathers, celebrate diversity, and unite us as a country. Tradition serves as an avenue for creating lasting memories for our families and friends. Tradition offers excellent context for meaningful pause and reflection. As leaders, role models, and parents, we must strive to utilize every opportunity available to reinforce the values and beliefs that we hold dear. I applaud the efforts of everyone involved in this event today. Goff Middle School, please continue this tradition. It is important. To our servicemen and women, past and present, their families and loved ones, including my son and daughter, Lieutenant Junior Grade Nicholas Ramsey, United States Navy, and Petty Officer 3rd Class Alexander Ramsey, United States Coast Guard. Thank you for your service.
saved the biggest to last. It is with great pride that I introduce to you Lieutenant Commander, USN retired Kasim Yarn, our rock star Director of Veterans Affairs for the state of Maryland.
Well, we're going to continue to give Mrs. Serio another round of applause. Three simple words with a profound impact. Remember, honor, and teach. When I look across this room, we epitomize those words. There are no borders, no municipalities, 39 districts, 36 school districts when it comes to honoring America's heroes. However, there's something that Goff Middle has that no other school has. What do you got? I couldn't even hear that. I need to make sure that we let the people from all the way in Westerly and across the East Bay hear it. What do we got? Great job. Parents, teachers, let's give our students a round of applause. When we as guests in your school walked in, we realized this just didn't happen in one day. It takes the collaborative effort of a school pulling together in the same direction. That's amazing. It's humbling. I'm going to promise to hold back the tears. So, but if you feel like crying, please go by all means, please do. We need to share that tear burden. Reach Across America is not just one individual event. These type of events are happening across the nation. On Monday, we all started at the State House with our funeral directors to set the tone, to lay a wreath in the epicenter, that majestic facility called the State House. Then the next day, we got together and we drove all the way up to Pontiac High School and to see the array of our American flags, bands, kids playing. They talking about their experiences. But it doesn't stop there. Because the other day, we were in Wyman, Middle. And all those little warriors joining this Wreaths Across America, that sea of goodwill. Then today, the third annual, preparing for the fourth annual, the fifth annual, the sixth annual celebration. Then tomorrow, we're going to get up, dust ourselves off. It's going to be raining, so bring your rain gear, but that's okay. And we're going to go all the way to Exeter Memorial Cemetery and do what's right for our warriors that reside there and the families that continue on a day-to-day basis to carry that burden, to honor those fallen heroes, and those that are no longer with us. That's humbling. Because we know that the scripture teaches us there is no greater blessing than a man or a woman that's willing to give their life for the sake of others. When our men and women take that oath, that's always in the back of their minds. But we get through it because we have a code. We're a band of brothers and sisters. Or not on our watch. Or leave no one behind. Those elements are what define us. And nothing can take that away. Because we serve. Being part of something that is bigger than yourself. So to our leaders here at Goff Middle, thank you for your service. Thank you for taking time out to remember what is truly important. Honoring our fallen, honoring those that are currently deployed downrange, so we can be here today, and honor those that served and came home and are no longer serving, known as our veterans. And teach others to take those exactly. Our little ones always remind us, that's her cue to tell me I need to get off the mic because I'm taking away from her time. But in all due seriousness, thank you so much. You set the example. You inspire me to do more as a director, to make sure that all of our veterans, and more importantly, their families are taken care of. That's the essence of remember, honor, and teach. Later today, I'm going to the State House to honor the 75th anniversary of the Battle of the Bulge. 19,000 Americans died on that conflict during World War II to preserve our freedoms. So just let's think about that for a little bit. God bless you, and I love you. What do we got?
Next on our program, we would like to recognize two members of America's greatest generation. Were World War II veterans Ray Gannon, escorted by his nephew Bill McHale, and Crispino Chris DiCarlo, escorted by his great-niece Chris Thompson, please come forward, both of which who have been lifelong residents of our Pawtucket community.
Thank you for your service.
Ray Gannon, who is now 99 years of age, joined the U.S. Naval Air Corps in October 1942 at the age of 22 and did his basic training in Newport. After completing aerial gunnery school at Quonset Point, Ray was assigned to Floyd Bennett Field in Brooklyn in 1943, where he flew as an aviation ordnance third class on the famed PBY Catalina aircraft that patrolled the North Atlantic, searching for German submarines. The plane had a 110-foot wingspan, and because it could land at sea, it was known as the Flying Boat. Ray's battle station as a bow gunner was located in front of the cockpit. To reach it, Ray had to crawl between the pilot and the co-pilot and stand waist up above the nose of the plane to man the gun. Ray left the Navy in 1946. He is most proud of his military service and that of his late brother John, who joined the Army and saw heavy action as an infantry sergeant in the campaign to liberate Italy. John was awarded 3 Bronze Stars during his service. Will Director Yarn and Mr. George Carvalho please come forward to present your awards?
Unfortunately, our governor couldn't be here today, but we try to do our due diligence and honor America's true heroes. Certificate of Special Recognition. Let me know that I, Gina Raimondo, Governor of the State of Rhode Island, promise plantation to my best wishes, Aviation Honors Third Class Petty Officer Ray Gannon, for your unwavering commitment and devotion to service. You have demonstrated the highest level of professionalism, leadership, integrity throughout your distinguished military service and merit special recognition. The State of Rhode Island join me in expressing the greatest respect, admiration, and best wishes for your continued success. Give it under my hand, the great state of Rhode Island, promise presentation on this 13th day of December. Gina Raimondo, Governor.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. My name is George Cavallo. I'm director of Senator Whitehouse's office. He sends his best today. Unfortunately, he is not able to join us. This is a very special day for me because Mr. Gannon has been a very close friend of mine for more than 30 years. And I would not be in my position where I am today if it were not for this gentleman. He was my first boss when I worked for the Pawtucket Housing Authority here after college. He still thinks he's my boss. And he was my boss. I served with him when he was chair of the zoning board here. I was his vice chair, and he continued to tell me what to do, and like an idiot, I listened. But I wanted to present this citation to him for his service and everything that he's done for me and everything that he's done for the city of Pawtucket over the years. As was said, he'll be 100 on August 18th of next year, and he still is very active. We worked many blessing of the fleets over the years. We've played golf together, and be careful, he still drives. So, but, Mr. Gannon, I love you, and congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Gannon, for your service. Next, we have Crispino Chris DiCarlo. Chris was assigned to Battery C, 465th Field Artillery Battalion of the 37th Infantry Division. Battery C had the division's big guns, the 8-inch howitzers. His campaign credits include New Guinea, Samar, Leyte, Luzon, and his last stop in Manila. His decorations include the Good Conduct Medal, World War II Victory Medal, Asiatic Pacific Theater Campaign, Philippine Liberation with Bronze Silver Service Star Medal, the American Theater Campaign Medal. The 37th Infantry Division, along with the 43rd Infantry Division, was scheduled for the lead waves in the invasion of Japan. Fortunately, the war ended before that became necessary. Chris says the worst part of the war was being attacked by the Japanese, who were tricky and pretty sharp, and would hide out and fire from the mountains. Chris was discharged in 1946, along with 14 million other servicemen and women. Will Director Yarn and Mr. George Carvalho please present your awards to Chris DiCarlo?
You know, this is, give a round of applause, right? I see Mike pulling the tears a bit, so I'm gonna hold back mine now. So, this is amazing, and as a Red Sox fan, he's wearing this Yankee jacket, but guess what? We're okay, because it's about our veterans. So, one team, one fight. So, of course, and again, I have recognition for you as well, my governor. Certificate of special recognition. Let me know, I.G. Romano, Governor of the State of Rhode Island, proud to claim place, wish to extend my best wishes to Army Sergeant Chris DiCarlo for your unwavering commitment and devotion to service. You have demonstrated the highest level of professionalism, leadership, integrity throughout your distinguished military career and merit special recognition. The citizens of Rhode Island join me in expressing our great respect, admiration, and best wishes for continued success. Giving up my great hand and great civil state of Rhode Island, Providence Plantation on this 13th May, December 2019, CNN 1.
Mr. DiCarlo, it's an honor to meet you. And thank you for the sacrifices that you have made over the years, you and your family. It's amazing to be in the presence of these members of the greatest generation who have sacrificed so much so that we can be here today and enjoy the freedoms and the lives that we had. So, Mr. DiCarlo, thank you very much. It's an honor to meet you.
Thank you, Director Yarn. Thank you, Mr. Carvalho, for making that wonderful presentation for us. This year, we have the pleasure of having our Goff Middle School band, led by Mr. Donald Dupree, playing my personal favorite, the Salute to the Armed Forces medley. They've been working very hard over the past few months to learn this incredibly difficult song. It is customary that all veterans stand for their service song while this is played.
Thank you to our Goff Middle School band for that wonderful rendition.
the past 3 years, we have seen some amazing students step up to the plate to represent our school and community through their Wreaths Across America projects. This open-ended platform gave students the opportunity to think outside the box and showcase their dedication to supporting veterans and their family members. With this being our 3rd consecutive year, we would like to take a moment to recognize a few particular students who every year have gone above and beyond to support this program and help shape this school-wide culture. At this time, I would like to ask Mr. Carlos Lopez Estrada to come up and present the mayor's citations.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be back on stage again to represent Mayor Grebian. As I stated in my remarks earlier today, it makes us all proud to be here to enjoy the fruits of the labor of the students who really put their heart and soul into this. And on behalf of Mayor Grebian and the residents of the city of Pawtucket, it's a great honor and privilege for me to be here today to present 4 citations to 4 deserving students who really exemplify the best of Pawtucket and the best of the state of Rhode Island through their efforts to make this event happen. So if you will indulge me, I'll read the citation and then I'll read off their names. On behalf of Mayor Grebian and the city of Pawtucket, Rhode Island, this citation is presented. Be it known to all that Mayor Donald R. Grebian hereby offers his sincerest appreciation to the 4 students, Michael Cooper, Andrew Massey, Karina Pesoto, and Sarah Souza. And in recognition of your participation and dedication to the Wreaths Across America program, which demonstrates your growth in understanding the sacrifices veterans and their families make on a daily basis. The entire city extends its very best wishes on this memorable occasion and expresses the hope for continued good fortune in all that you do. This citation is signed the 13th day of December in the year of our Lord, 2019, at City Hall in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, by Mayor Donald R. Grebian. Students, congratulations on all your work. You are an example of the best of Pawtucket, and we're proud to be here and to have you as part of our program. Thank you, and I will present these to them.
At this time, I would like to continue the program by recognizing the families of those who have lost a close family member while serving our country during wartime. There is no one that knows loss like a Gold Star mother, father, or family member. The Gold Star Families Association concentrates on providing support to its member, doing volunteer work in support of a veteran, and fostering a sense of patriotism and respect for members of the armed forces. The name came from the custom of families of servicemen and women hanging a banner called the service flag in the window of their homes. Living servicemen were represented by a blue star, and those who lost their lives were represented by a gold star. I would like to take a moment to recognize this special group of people who show perpetual strength on a daily basis. Because the pain of someone gone too soon never fully heals. They know all too well that unfortunately, freedom is not free. At this time, will all Gold Star family members in our audience please stand to be recognized? On behalf of the Goff Middle School community, we would like you to know that your sacrifice will never be forgotten. We would like to present you with a single white rose in recognition of your service members' ultimate sacrifice. This next introduction is a very important one for our Goff Middle School family. PFC Kyle Kutu attended Goff Middle School between the years of 2003 to 2005. Friends and teachers remember him as a natural leader who was a friend to everyone. He was a Tolman graduate in 2009 and joined the Marines shortly after. Kyle tragically killed defending our country in Marjah, Afghanistan on February 18, 2010. At this time, I would like to call up Ms. Mizzy Kutu to share a few thoughts on Kyle and on behalf of the Gold Star families.
I'd like to begin by letting you all know how humbled I am to be able to speak today to you on behalf of my son, our hero, Kyle Kutu. Today's my first time ever to speak publicly. It's taken me years to develop the courage and strength to do so. I have sat, watched, and listened to my fellow Gold Star families speak on behalf of all our heroes, and I'm forever grateful for their support and kind words. Thank you for showing me I can do this. It's very fitting that this event is taking place where Kyle was educated, and now everyone who enters this building leaves knowing who Kyle Joseph Kutu was. I'd like to share a quote that explains to you how I get through each day. It goes like this: you don't get over it, you just get through it. You don't get by because you can't get around it. It doesn't get better, it just gets different. Every day, grief puts on a new face. This year's theme for Wreaths Across America is Everyone Plays a Part. As Kyle's mom, I know my part is to be sure he will never be forgotten. The Pawtucket community has supported me in my endeavors throughout the years, from laying Kyle to rest, 5K road races, golf tournaments, and motorcycle runs. My memory recalls the residents of Pawtucket, those who are employed in our city, and the children who attend school, lined up on every street holding a flag in the frigid weather to honor Kyle, a day none of us will ever forget. But if someone asked me who my #1 supporter is in honoring and remembering my son, without hesitation, I would say my Goff school family. I know for a fact that if someone was to ask anyone at Goff, and I mean anyone, student, teacher, parent, counselor, custodian, lunch lady, about Kyle, that they could share his story. As a mother who lost her only son, brings peace to my heart. Many here today have had the pleasure of knowing Kyle. With his contagious smile and empathetic ways, people were drawn to him. He was a leader and let it be known. His charismatic personality, along with his confidence, he brought out the best in people. During his lifetime, his family, teachers, coaches, friends, and mentors played their part in creating a well-rounded individual with a strong sense of respect and sound value system. They all guided him to be the best he could be. He fulfilled his purpose. You, my friends, play the part of keeping his memory alive and sharing his legacy. The greatest legacy anyone can leave behind is to positively impact the lives of others. Whenever you add value to other people's lives, you unknowingly leave footprints in the sands of time that always lives on. In closing, Kyle loved being the center of attention. He's smiling down on us today with his beautiful smile. Kyle is always with us in spirit. I'm sure if you ask Mr. Colson, he will share his heartwarming stories. Thank you for your continued support and willingness to learn about my son. You have all played your part so well. You have helped me heal and go on. Today I was able to share my feelings, and that's quite an accomplishment. I feel today I made Kyle proud. Happy holidays.
Missy, we would like to thank you for your thoughts. We would also like to inform you that Kyle's legacy will be memorialized at Goff Middle School by the planting of a weeping cherry tree in his memory on Memorial Day week this coming spring. At this time, we would like to present you with a watercolor painting created by local artist Sarah Swanson showing the location of the tree at Goff on Newport Ave. I need to compose myself. Next, I am very proud to introduce and call to the stage Silver Star recipient HM2 Joshua Chiarini, who was a Fleet Marine Force Corpsman for the 1st Battalion, 2nd Marines. Docs, as they are endearingly referred to, are the ones running towards the danger to save the lives of those in need. While conducting combat patrol on February 10, 2006, Chiarini's squad was attacked by 2 improvised explosive devices, followed by heavy small arms and a machine gun fire that wounded 5 Marines and 1 interpreter. Petty Officer Chiarini immediately left the relative safety of his vehicle and fought his way across 100 meters of fire-swept terrain to reach the casualties. Realizing that most of the wounded needed to be evacuated, without hesitation, he placed himself between the casualty and the enemy fire, assisting the casualty with one arm while providing suppressive firearm on the enemy with his rifle in the other. He then fought his way back across the 100 meters of fire-swept terrain to the casualty collection point. He repeated this action 3 more times until each casualty was stabilized and safely loaded for evacuation. Despite the insurgents concentrating on their fire on him, he remained focused on saving the lives of his wounded comrades. Chiarini served 8 years and now is North Providence firefighter. He leads workshops for first responders in the use of combat medic techniques. He is also a licensed pilot with Angel Flights, helping veterans with PTSD. Chiarini is an incredible advocate for his fellow veterans, and we are extremely proud to present this Devil Doc with a special award. I would like to ask Sarah Sousa to come to the stage to present this award.
Hospital Corpsman 2nd Class Petty Officer Joshua T. Chiarini, United States Navy, recipient of the Silver Star, in recognition of heroically saving the lives of 5 United States Marines and 1 interpreter while under enemy fire, 10th of February 2006. Joshua T. Chiarini was serving with 1st Battalion, 2nd Marines, Charlie Company, 1st Platoon, 22nd Marine Expeditionary Force, Operation Iraqi Freedom, Al and La Province.
Ayana Johnson and Selimar Garcia come to the stage for a presentation of a hero quilt created by Sharon Sirio Valente and Goff Middle School students. As a recognition of your honorable military service, Goff Middle School would also like to present you with this special quilt. Our lives are like quilts, bits and pieces, joy and sorrow, stitched with love. Thank you for your service, HM2 cheerleading.
Thank you. Just there real quick. Thank you very much. It's truly an honor to be here with all of you today. Thank you, Maria, for putting this together, bringing us all out, a distinguished guest, and my chief over here, and my mayor for my town, and thank you for all your support over this time. This year's part of the Wreaths Around Americas, everyone plays a part. Also, the Remember, Honor, Teach of Wreaths Around America. Those 2 year things is wonderful because it encompasses a little bit of everyone in this room. And also across the U.S. because we all play a part in making it here today. Some of the costs, the sacrifices to keep our nation free, for my part began 20 years ago when I joined the United States Navy as a Navy corpsman. I was fresh out of high school. 17 years old, I joined the Navy. Went right in in the summer. I had no idea where my part would land me. In 2001, I was in Field Medical Service School, learning how to be a Marine corpsman. I didn't know that was going to change my life at that point. All that training we were doing suddenly meant something, and we knew we were going to war. Shortly after that, I went to Cuba in support of operations there, treating and taking care of detainees in the infamous Camp X-Ray, which had just opened up at the time, treating fresh battlefield injuries on insurgents in the fences of the Camp X-Ray. But it was here, though, it was the first time I saw how everybody plays a part. There was Marines from across the United States there providing security, to also the cook and the chow hall feeding us meals every day. They were all doing their part. After Guantanamo Bay, though, it was off next to 1st Battalion, 2nd Marines. That was my unit down in Camp Lejeune. I finished up my time at School of Infantry, worked at 2nd Tank Battalion for a little while, and then the call came down the line. They needed corpsmen to go to Iraq. The casualties were mounting. It was just after the invasion of 2003. And once again, we trained and we prepared. It was right around the 4th of July. We were in California, getting ready to go. As we prepared to board the plane, we checked our weapons, checked our gear. The commander at the time came down and he said, "There's a large group of people out in town. They want to say goodbye." That was my first encounter with everyday people doing their part in the war on terror, as many other Americans have done in the past. There was people of all ages, all sizes, there to wish us well. Many veterans from Vietnam, Korea, World War II, and many other conflicts had come together to wish us well, and to also remind us the cost of freedom. It was overwhelming to see that support that day. People took the time out of their busy day to come say goodbye, support and teach their young children what the cost of freedom is. The big thing I remember about that day was when I boarded that plane that night. It was the 4th of July. Before ducking my head inside that cockpit, I looked around and I watched the fireworks going off across the sky as the nation celebrated its Independence Day. So I knew it could be my last time, and for many of those Marines, unfortunately, it was their last time we stepped on American soil. As my eyes fell upon that crowd, as we got into that plane, it was truly humbling. A few weeks later, I found myself slugging it out in the midst of some of the heaviest fighting during the Iraq War. We were in the Al Anbar province, Iraq, named the Sunni Triangle of Death. We started discovering the improvised explosive devices. 2 days into being at that base, we came under a massive attack from the insurgent force in the area. The losses were high that day. The battle was won, though, because Marines, Army, Air Force, they all came together and did their part. One of those Marines gave his life for my unit 2 days into the war. He was a new father. But he dedicated his life to our country, as so many had done before, in selfless service to our great nation, so we remain free. Many more battles would follow on that day. The losses would continue. My best friend, Lance Corporal Fitzgerald, gave his life in service to our country on that battlefield on August 18th of 2004, at a young age of 21. Doing his part, trying to save other Marines. And there was Sergeant Patterson, there was Hanson, there was Brooks, and so many more. Who we honor today with these wreaths, those wreaths they will place on their graves tomorrow as they travel down from Maine to Arlington. But every day, people are doing their part, remembering and honoring and teaching. The motto of the wreaths around America. For everyone here today, we all play a part. So many of you played a part in my life. For my mother and father here today in the back, they played their part in supporting me in my 3 tours in Iraq. In an age where communication is simple, you can make a text, make a phone call. Over there, it was weeks at a time. The internet center got blown to bits. Our satellite phone was gone. We do the old snail mail, those simple letters. We'd write back and forth. They would support me, though, and tell me I was in the right place at the right time. Instead, if something happened to me, they were okay with it. Because I was there to do my part. Those letters from home, though, they were the backbone of our support. The fire inside of us that kept us warm at night. It kept us cool on those hot 120-degree days. The letters came from all across the United States, along with pictures, stories, food. Ramen noodles is one of the best. And from kids in schools, just like I saw today. When we arrived here, we were greeted by all these young kids, and that thank you for your service. Those simple letters, that's what keeps us in the fight over there. People from all walks of life doing their part. After that last tour in Iraq, I came home in 2007. I was a much different person. I was beaten down. I was changed as a person. The horrors of war had taken their toll on myself and many others. That last tour, I was at a combat replacement over there. So I went back to my old unit as a foreman because they just couldn't get guys quick enough. I flew down out of here, out of Newport, Rhode Island, my duty station. I rejoined my old unit. And when we arrived home, though, everybody was getting their welcome home, seeing their families. Because I came from a unit here in Rhode Island, I slipped into a cab, and I got on the plane and flew back here to Rhode Island. It was just another tour, just another day in Iraq. On the ride home, though, in the plane, and once we got here back in the States, I was left with my thoughts of the horrors of war, the last 7 months of fighting. I walked down the ramp when I got off that plane, though, here in TF Green, Rhode Island. It felt like every other day. People just going to work, you know, just traveling about the country, going to business and doing their thing. But when I stepped into that terminal in TF Green in 2007, there was over 100 people welcoming me home. That right there still sticks with me today. It has impacted my life. That those Americans, those people here in Rhode Island, came together, had never met me before, and to welcome me home. Our Vietnam veterans never got that welcome. And I want to take a moment here today to give them a round of applause and welcome them home. I was also blown away as I was escorted home by some of the very people here in this room today. The Patriot Guard Riders and other organizations made up of veterans and civilians alike doing their part to support our great nation. It was an overwhelming and humbling experience to be welcomed home like that. In the years following the war, I struggled with PTSD, the hidden enemy that we fight today as veterans. It's taken many lives, more so than the battlefield has. In 2007, I hit a low. The war had taken over my life. The losses, the nightmares. I was in a dark hole in a dark place, looking for answers. And it was someone doing their part that reached down in that dark hole and pulled me out. Many veterans like you here today talked to Vietnam guys, World War II vets, and said, how did you come home? How did you get out of this hole? They said, Josh, it's time to do your part again. I joined the North Providence Fire Department in 2012 because I wanted to serve again. The war had taught me so much, and it was time to use it again for good, to support, to teach, and help those around me as a firefighter, but also as a veteran, as many veterans have done here today and in the past. In closing today, though, I want to say thank you to all of you for doing your part. From the youngest to the oldest, it is one big team that makes our country great. Keep up the motto of Wreaths around America this holiday season. Remember our fallen with these beautiful wreaths. As you place them on the graves tomorrow, honor them by saying their names and thinking of their sacrifice. And teach our future generations, as you guys are doing here today with this wonderful event, the cost of our freedom. Freedom is not free. It is given by the blood of our Americans with the ultimate sacrifice and their families that are here today. Semper Fi. Hoorah! Thank you. Thank you all for having me here today. It's truly an honor. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
At this moment, I would like to begin our formal presentation of the wreaths. Accepting the wreath on the behalf of the Army is Lieutenant Colonel David Furr, USA retired, presented by Hannah Willettes. Accepting the wreath on the behalf of the Marines is Sergeant Emily Provost, presented by Ava LaCurico and Leah Blanchett. Accepting the wreath on the behalf of the Navy is CS2 Hurtado, USN Newport, Rhode Island, presented by Ayanna Johnson. Accepting the wreath on the behalf of the Air Force is Sergeant Davis Lucas Jr., presented by Liana Torres. Accepting the wreath on the behalf of the Coast Guard is Petty Officer Josh Harriet and Mr. James Chetrall, presented by Ava Frazio. Accepting the wreath on the behalf of the Merchant Marines is Mr. Mike Dalmazzi, presented by Sophia Giral and Melissa Martinez. Accepting the wreath on the behalf of the POW and MIA is Lieutenant Junior Grade USN Nicholas Ramsey, presented by Cindy Lopez-Llanes and Haley Malacone. Accepting the wreath on the behalf of the Gold Star Association is Mrs. Sharon Toner, mother of Lieutenant Junior Grade Francis L. Toner IV, presented by Ariana Ramirez and Jaden Linton. Accepting the wreath on the behalf of the Blue Stars is Assistant Superintendent for the Pawtucket Schools, Lisa Ramsey, presented by Arabella Vasquez-Lebu and Amira Fusco. Accepting the wreath on the behalf of the 21 Heroes Monument in Pawtucket, Rhode Island is Mr. Bill McHale, presented by Hannah Altubi and Kayla Bethany. Thank you for that presentation. Our sponsorships go towards a greater state cause, which is working together to get every veteran grave covered in the state of Rhode Island. Our faculty, staff, students, and community helped this cause immensely this year by fundraising and sponsoring many wreaths. If I could now have Mr. Mike Kalenda, Rhode Island State Patriot Guard Captain Ms. Dee Poole, and Assistant State Captain Mr. Mike Dalmazzi, who worked tirelessly to put together wreath ceremonies across the state to come to the stage. The Goff Middle School Wreaths Across America team would like to present you with a check in the amount of $6,705, totaling 447 wreath sponsorships this season to place at the Rhode Island Veterans Memorial Cemetery in Exeter. I also want to personally thank each and every one of you for your incredible support and mentorship. Please accept this token of my appreciation. I would like to gift each of you with a 2019 Wreaths Across America Military Challenge coin. At this time, I would like to ask all staff and students at Goff Middle School to please stand. You can do it silently, thank you. Part of Wreaths Across America's mission is to bring communities together. I have never been more proud. Our students, in showing their support for veterans and active duty service members, fundraised over $500, collected donations for care packages, and made Christmas cards to send overseas. If there were ever a student body that understood this cause, I think this might be it. This is really what WAA is all about, taking action and playing a part. To Dr. Cheryl McWilliams, Superintendent of Pawtucket Schools, Assistant Superintendent Lisa Ramsey, thank you for the opportunity for our students, staff, and community to once again come together for such a great cause. A very special thank you to my mother-in-law, Sharon Cirio Valente, and my father-in-law, BG Richard Valente, for always running with my crazy creative ideas and helping me to execute them so eloquently. And a little shout out to the General. Thank you for always ensuring that I follow protocol. Sir, I think we're definitely tracking here. And last, but certainly not least, to my wonderful husband, Christopher. Thank you for your tremendous amount of support and unconditional love throughout this entire process. There's a lot of tireless nights. I actually have a beautiful daughter, Sadie Rose Cirio, who was just 6 months yesterday, so we're pretty tired. This guy, he's been holding down the fort, doing all the behind-the-scenes work, getting things at the store, bringing them to the school after he does an all-nighter at the hospital because he works as the hospital nurse in the ER at Rhode Island Hospital, and he is just incredible and amazing, and I really could not thank him anymore for all his support. I love you. Before we close our program.
Yes, before we close this program, we really need to thank Mrs. Mariah Serio for everything that she has done to make this wonderful program come together for our school and community once again, now in our third year. As a small token of our appreciation, because at this point, there is no token large enough, we would like to present her with the 2019 Wreaths Across America Everyone Plays a Part commemorative ornament and a Wreaths Across America bracelet.
Before we close our program, at this time, we would like to honor and remember those who have made the ultimate sacrifice in the state of Rhode Island from the Beirut bombing and the War on Terror. Here to present the roll call is Brigadier General Richard J. Valente and Lieutenant Colonel Dave Furr. After, please rise for the presentation of taps, followed by the singing of God Bless the USA, performed by the Goff Middle School Chorus.
First, we'd like to read the names of those lost in the Beirut bombing, which was actually the first act of the War on Terror, from my opinion. Sergeant Timothy Giblin. Corporal Rick R. Crudale. Corporal Edward S. Iacovino, Jr. Corporal David C. Massa. Corporal Thomas A. Ship. Corporal Edward Soares, Jr. Corporal James F. Silva. Corporal Stephen E. Spencer. Lance Corporal Thomas A. Julian.
To continue, these are the names of the fallen from the War on Terror. Specialist Michael Andrade, Army National Guard. Captain Matthew J. August, Army. Sergeant Gregory A. Bellinger, Army Reserve. Sergeant Charles T. Caldwell, Army National Guard. Staff Sergeant Joseph Camara, Army National Guard. Captain Christopher S. Cash, Army. Lance Corporal Holly A. Charette, Marine Corps. PFC Kyle J. Kuchu, Marine Corps. Second Lieutenant Matthew S. Kuchu, Army. Master Sergeant Richard L. Ferguson, Army. Sergeant Dennis J. Flanagan, Army. PS3 Ronald A. Gill, Jr., United States Coast Guard. Sergeant Moises Jasmine, Army. Staff Sergeant Dale James Kelly, Jr., Army National Guard. Specialist Curtis Mancini, Army Reserve. Staff Sergeant Timothy Raymond McGill, Army National Guard. First Sergeant Peter A. McKenna, Jr., Army. Sergeant Michael F. Paranzino, Army. Staff Sergeant Christopher S. Potts, Army National Guard. Specialist Dennis C. Poulin, Army. Lance Corporal Matthew K. Serio, Marine Corps. Sergeant Brian R. St. Germain, Marine Corps. Lance Corporal Nicholas D. Schiavone, Marine Corps. Chief Warrant Officer 5, Sharon T. Sotworth, Army. Lance Corporal Abraham Tawo, Marine Corps. Lieutenant J.G. Francis L. Toner IV, U.S. Navy. Lance Corporal John J. Van Geisen IV, Marine Corps. Sergeant Dennis P. Weichel, Jr., Army National Guard. And then Sergeant Michael R. Wiedemann, Army.
Retire the colors. Not yet.
Still stands for freedom, and they can't take that.
In closing, we would like to take a moment to thank each and every veteran for being with us today and answering the call in bravery and sacrifice. Please continue to stand for the retirement of the colors, and God bless America. General?
Okay, that's my cue. Retire the colors.
Thank you. This concludes our program.